You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Every Thursday night,
E.Ali,
Facebook Live,
the weekly news,
TikTok,
no cap,
YouTube. You got your boy E.Ali and the
local news,
ToLe'Do.
regional, and the shit that might go viral. You know I'ma got
E.Ali and
you.
the
You know I got you.
ToLe'Do.
Yo, what it do, Toledo? It's your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do with another episode of Thinking Out Loud. It's March 4th, 2024. We just roughly 4 days before the total eclipse. So I hope y'all got your glasses and shit like that ready for that event. They making a lot of noise about it. So we'll see how that go. Again, this your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do. The episode, a segment of Thinking Out Loud. Like I said, man, last week, I think it was last week. Basically, like the show is under development. I'm gonna do this Thinking Out Loud. Think it'll be a little bit more effective in terms of some of the podcasts. Most people think that podcasting is the visual, but the majority of podcasting is a non-visual instrument or a platform or show, so to speak. But this is my effort in doing so, just keeping current or keeping some material, producing something for the city, the urban area, hip hop, the area somewhat to get overlooked in our city. This is west side of the Viaduct, you know, that kind of shit. Pothole capital USA, 45 minutes out of Detroit, Michigan, Toledo, Ohio, one of Toledo, Ohio premier podcasting. Independent. Like I said, it has a hip hop and urban twist. Basically from an OG perspective, man. You know, just putting my 2 cents in. There's 80 billion people on the planet, so I just have a tendency to throw my little 2 cents in, cause it's a lot of shit being said that ain't being said. You know, if you can catch that. You know, definitely with us. You know, they keep us distracted with P. Diddy and all that kind of monkey ass shit like we really care about really what's going on in their life. The average person, for the most part, since COVID and things of that nature, been focused on their family and their health. You know, and trying to get some kind of sense of the finances. You know, trying to be consistent in accomplishing, you know, keeping a few dollars rolling in. You know, that's what most people, you know, life is geared towards. And you know, and if you got kids, trying to make sure your kids is well educated and putting them in a position that, you know, that they can win. Because everybody want to win and be a boss. So, but yeah, this is that show, man. Let's get to it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff.
Call Erica. It's E.Ali in the ToLe'Do. E.Ali, E.Ali, E.Ali in the ToLe'Do. E.Ali, E.Ali. We from the ToLe'Do. Ohio. E.Ali in the ToLe'Do. Yo, what it do? This your boy, man. March 4th, 2024. 4 days before the total eclipse that'll supposed to appear. this my effort in terms of just putting my 2 cents in the situation. You know, always trying to create some kind of content and shit like that of the like. However, this is just my effort. Again, this is my opinion. It's not to, it doesn't have a intent to offend nobody. Just basically just giving you my thoughts, so to speak. For the most part, it don't matter because, like I said, there's over 8 billion people on the planet, and this is just my 2 cents in it. And if you find it entertaining and you find it useful, informative, educational, that's what, for the most part, you know, my directions. That's where I try to place my aim. That's what I shoot for the most part, because, you know, I'm a grandfather. Hello? Yo. I'm a grandfather now, so being that I'm a grandfather now, you know, that has a tendency to put me in a different space, you know. You know, you start thinking about their future, you know. You know, at 50, close to 53, I'm somewhat still going to the, you know, moving upward, you know. I still got a few good years ahead of me, but I can see I can see I'm coming over the top of the mountain, you know. So with that being said, I'm careful in my steps, you know. That's why I started off, you know, that I don't have the intent of trying to offend nobody. That's not what this is. No, just really just offering my perspective and the way I see things, man, because for the most part, we don't never get that kind of thought out. That you know, that conversation, so to speak, is not, in most cases, is not being had, you know. The real live black man perspective. You know, for the most part, you know, you really get it from places, you know, you get these religious personalities. You know, they bombard us with entertainers, the sports personalities and shit like that, as to inspire to be or to look up to, you know. Or some, you know, bootleg, crooked-ass politician or something. But for the most part, you don't really have nobody inspired, or people don't have a place. Like, for instance, just the barbershop conversation where guys sit around and kick the bobos and kick the thoughts. You know, in most cases, you know, white folks call those think tanks. You know, where you sit around and not only you sit around and then you think and you put your money together for a project or an ideal or a movement, you know, or policies, you know, or laws, changing laws, or bringing awareness to certain things. That's what mainly think tanks try to do, is figure out how do you move forward. But I don't never see where there's a think tank for the most part. For black folks, it's never been like a think tank where we sit around, or a conference, or, you know, you have the church for the most part, but then, you know, that's state sponsored, but just something independently of all the institutions or all the influence, where we get together and just sit around and talk openly and candidly about the world and how nature, government policies, laws, schools, just how all of that plays a part on our life, and how we must, you know, take a step back, look at what all the evidence suggests, look at past treatment and abuse, past laws, past situations that we found ourselves in. It's just take, and I mean, this is probably about a year-long study to have to really sit back and figure out what's the best angle for us to make the move from here forward. Because I definitely one of those individuals, because after the civil rights movement, that's all we stuck with this government, so to speak. You know, we still living off King's, Dr. King's participation and bringing force to the civil rights. But it's like, as just a guy to sit around and think, it's like that shit is outdated. Like, when do we go back to the table and renegotiate? Because those rights has been trampled on, and everybody else has been able to come in, enjoy better rights just because off that premise. You know, especially with some of the information that's being said, the kind of money that they giving these you know, asylum seekers and shit, you know, then stipends, you know, money, food stamps and shit like that that's being, you know, because at this point it seemed like the government or our government is like somebody is looting the chest. You spending money in 2, 3, 4 different fronts, wars, you know, because, you know, Biden came in for the most part with the his first focus, what I thought was supposed to been, you know, handling the student loan and also taking a real serious look at reparations in terms of, you know, people, African Americans. So I don't like to use that political term to put us, because we're not all African Americans. You know, some of us just plain Americans. You know, that African shit, I'm indigenous to this country. You know, the first man is in Africa, so we all got roots to Africa, but as being, I'm rooted right here. You know, so I don't put the title of that on my thing first before I identify. So that's my political stance. You know, that's some things that we have to always have to, or that's some shit that we have to take a look at, especially those kind of terms as we move forward, and how we, you know, argue or negotiate, come to some kind of agreement in terms of, you know, how our effort and our labor is going to be divided and taxed, and where is this money going? You know, that's what we have to take a look at. You know, I guess because we don't have a position no more. You know, our vote don't even matter. We moving in a real dangerous area, just from just the feel of it. You know, you don't have no real strong black political figures or reverends or ministers or teachers or whatever that's really, you know, advocating for our survival, our participation, our slice of the pie. We want to see, you know, of the pie of America. America's the land of apple pie. How much apple pie are we going to receive? You know, because we see everybody else getting a piece of this pie except us. You know, and then, like I say, they keep us entertained. You know, they keep you stories of LeBron James and all the shit what they doing, but what the fuck is going on with this pie? You know, the American dream. You know, I would like to close my eyes and be able to see this dream. You know, wake up and see the reality of that, but that's not there, and it's becoming foggy in terms of, you know, our position. And, you know, maybe I'm talking too big for Toledo for the most part, because for the most part around here, man, everybody just caught up in just the little bullshit, trying to go out, trying to get a few little clothes, what you drinking, what you smoking, and all that kind of shit. You know, ain't too much else shit really going on. You know, the church is dying. You know, it's not a real strong participation with us in the church. The church really don't have a real strong position. Just want to keep you somewhat within them four walls, and don't want to bring that gospel to the streets while the kids is dying. And you be like, well, what you doing? Well, man, for the most part, I do a lot in terms of that, because every little kid or every child or every young person I run in contact with, man, first of all, I check their temperature and just see where, you know, what's going on with them. You know, ask them about their day, their school, and, you know, shit like that. Just being concerned about them. You know, at least get at. You know, but the kids that I really have a strong connection and being in contact with, like just through the kids that I come in contact with, my grandkids and shit like that, especially through football, being that I coach a little bit and shit like that. You know, I try to always offer words of encouragement, man. You know, I always give them something to look up, you know, find something to look up to. First of all, I definitely always encourage listening to their parents and their teachers and shit. You know, first and foremost. You know, I'm always on that. How well you doing in school and shit, because that determine a lot. You know, you definitely want to be educated. You don't want to be trained. You want to be educated. It's a difference. You have to look that up. Most public school systems and educational systems, for the most part, just train you to be a worker. You know, to go get you a 9 to 5, play by the rules and all that. You know, we need a more progressive kind of education to teach entrepreneurship, business, you know, into banking, finances, agriculture, shit like that. You know, how to go out there and grow you some fucking potatoes, the real science. How to grow your food, what foods to eat. You know, that's the real science. You know, I get the weather and shit, but let's talk about how do we make the body better. You know, with all the information we got. You know, why fast food is bad. Let's talk about that. From a scientific point of view. Scientific point of view. Sorry. Let's do it like that. I mean, we have to be innovative in terms of that. And then plus our churches have to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of what we doing with educational and shit like that. Because, I mean, we got enough Jesus. We get that he coming. We get that you got to get your life together and prepare yourself. But it's other things that we can do to make our lives better here on earth. You know, and that's just being better educated. You definitely want to be educated in terms of how you deal with the police or how you deal with the opposition, and knowing the rules and knowing your rights first and foremost. So when you step outside that door, you know what governs, you know, keeping yourself in good standing with the law. And that's just keep your stuff in landing, and for the most part, with God's law. You know, God said he wrote his law on the hearts of his kids, his children. The law written on your heart, because you can go do something, man, and the self-accusing spirit will convict you like, hey, that ain't right. And if you push past that, man, you violating God's law. You should know that. I guess some people don't have that, man. I always known that. and push past that and found myself in trouble. So for the most part, man, I'm trying to gear towards this conversation, having this conversation towards the young brothers. Them brothers between roughly, man, like 14 to 21. Sitting down with those guys, man, giving them a different perspective in terms of how they're supposed to conduct themselves so that they can move accordingly to success. Because we want them individuals to be successful. Because as the religious tech, man, the meek will inherit the earth. We just got to be meek, modest, humble, resortful, helpful. We also got to be organized and focused, dedicated, and come with a real righteous plan, man. It's only one God. We know that. Move accordingly. Quit getting caught up in all these silly ass holidays where you taking your money and, just throwing your money at these, because what you gonna get out of those, man? They ain't really getting us nowhere. We need a new plan. We seen that. We see what's going on with us in our community, and like everybody's just acting blind, especially around here, man, for the most part. Like the connections and shit. I see certain moves and certain shit happening, but for the most part, man, everybody just, it seemed like sitting back waiting for something to happen. It's a certain eeriness about things that's taking place that I guess our community is never being taught or educated about. Again, they just keep us, we all caught up in what P. Diddy and all them is doing and shit. And but we always known for years, man, the people take advantage of people. Anybody with money then always took advantage of people. I didn't see that. I didn't see how girls back in the day, guys have money and with a car, and how they would just throw themselves on that, offering themselves up for whatever kind of abuse that this guy was willing to give. And you had to know it had to come to some price, to even fuck with that guy. That wasn't somebody you was possibly raised up to even deal with if you was looking at from your father, if you was raised that way. If you had a father or a mother that was, somewhat grounded in some kind of religious affiliation, some kind of beliefs, they taught you certain things about how you supposed to conduct yourself, modesty and shit like that. I know I definitely taught my children, try to make an effort in terms of trying to keep, especially my daughters, to try to keep them modest. It was just certain things they wasn't able to wear, But this is your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do thinking out loud, man. Thinking about the situation this March 4th, 2024. We 4 days before the total eclipse. Now, wouldn't it be something, they say, if the total eclipse lasted past the few minutes I think it's supposed to take, or a minute or so? What if that total eclipse lasted for 3 days? What would you do? Are you prepared? Do you got enough water? Could you survive without electricity for a week? Do you know what foods? Do you know what, if it was no grocery store, do you know what wild foods or berries you can eat outside? Do you know how to catch squirrels and what time of the year you're supposed to eat rabbit? Because you're supposed to eat rabbit, I think, at the first frost, like mainly in October, late September, early October. I think you can start eating rabbit for the most part, catching it as wild game and and eating it. That's, and I'm only speaking if the total eclipse happened past a few minutes if it's a total blackout for 3 days? What would you think? Would that be a sign from the Almighty? They said total eclipse anyway is a sign. Back in the day, they used to take them as signs, but, you know, we didn't got from that. You know, with all the kind of stuff that's happening and shit like that, you know, it just got a kind of weird feeling and shit attached to it. Hope you got your glasses and shit like that. I got mine. I would be participating in it. They bringing in, the governor made some kind of public safety, something with the law enforcement, basically, because, you know, for the most part, when that event occur, you know, you might have situations on the highway where people just totally, you know, stop, run into somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely going to be an event where people pull over on the highways and shit like that and take pause, you know. So that's going to be interesting. Stay tuned for that. Yo, this is E.Ali and the ToLe'Do thinking out loud. Another episode, man. Just like I said, just offering my thoughts, putting my 2 cents in. You know, being that it's 8 billion people on the planet, man, this is just my opportunity to give back. You know, basically, it's also for me, it's therapeutic. You know, everybody like to hear themselves talk for the most part, so it's somewhat being what would you can't call what's that word I want to say? But nevertheless, you know, this is your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do thinking out loud. March 24th. We just 8 days before the total eclipse, which is Monday, March 8th, you know. So Thursday, March 4th, 2028. And we patiently waiting for this event because it's a lot of Yahoo and haranguing about it. But it's also a lot of distraction and shit like that going on. You know, but this is just your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do, one of Toledo's premier podcasts. This is the episode of the Thinking Out Loud. Like I said, this is also a therapeutic session for me, giving me an opportunity, man, to be a little conceited and liking to hear myself talk for the most part, but nevertheless to try to get out some of the things that, you know, bother me, or some of the things that I see that our community is not paying attention to and that we should be aware. You know, just us, like I said, just having a place that we can have a think tank so that we can come together and try to figure out how we maneuver, you know, not only, but how we get the most out of our government and our institutions that post to serve us. And then also looking at our participation and then what we supposed to do as good citizens in terms of, you know, cleaning our yards, cutting our grass, being good neighbors, you know what I mean, maintaining the job, shit like that, bro. Like that's the shit that we have to do, you know, in order to make our city work. But definitely don't be no burden. Don't be causing problems. Even if you ain't gonna be a contributor, don't be a problem. Don't be part of the, you know, you ain't got a solution, don't be part of the problem. You know, maintain your space though. That's all we ask. But this is, again, it's been fun, man, sitting back, kicking it. You know, like I said, we just 4 days before this eclipse, you know. Hopefully everybody, you know, be somewhere safe when this event occur. Don't be driving. If you are, pull over, because most people probably would, so you probably won't be able to move for a little while on the highway, I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? Because people will be, you know, have taken that time out to observe this phenomenon. So just be careful, be wise, you know, and this is your boy E.Ali in the ToLe'Do, the weekly news, no cap, thinking out loud, the episode of Thinking Out Loud. Peace.
Go through is what you tend to talk about and write about. That's called looking at the world from my eyes. You feel me? This whether you black, white, Hispanic, long as you know how to use the struggle. Bail my ass in this. Take these lyrics and smoke up these words if you feel profit. I woke up this morning, I gotta thank God for living, cause most of my homies in prison are trapped up in the drug dealing. In the ghetto we learn to struggle.